Stop before you spend one more dollar on chickens, goats, or pigs for your small plot of land. You need to hear this, because right now, thousands of families are pouring money into animals that are quietly draining their bank accounts, and almost nobody is talking about it. Everyone tells you chickens, goats, and pigs are the fastest path to self-sufficiency on a small property. But here's what they don't tell you. On half an acre or less, those three animals can actually cost you more than they ever give back. They eat your budget, they eat your weekends, and most people don't realize it until it's too late. So today, I'm breaking down the 3 common farm animals you should think twice about on small land, and the 4 smart alternatives that can genuinely double your profit without doubling your workload. Stick with me until the end, because the 4th alternative I'll show you requires almost zero land and almost zero daily work, and it might be the single most overlooked income source on any small homestead. I'll show you exactly what it is in a few minutes. If you're someone who wants real income from your land without burning out, you're in exactly the right place. I share practical, no-fluff homesteading strategies every single week. So if that sounds like you, make sure you're subscribed to Livestock Labs before we go any further, because you don't want to miss what's coming later in this series. Let's get into why so much popular farming advice quietly sets small landowners up to lose money. Here's the problem nobody addresses. Most of the farming advice you see online comes from people sitting on 5, 10, 20 acres, not half an acre. What works beautifully on a large homestead becomes expensive, exhausting, and honestly kind of a trap on limited space. And that's a quiet problem thousands of families are dealing with right now without even realizing it's the root cause of their frustration. The animals that actually work on small land follow one simple rule. They respect what your land can really handle. You're not trying to replicate a 20-acre farm in your backyard. You're choosing animals that generate real income with minimal feed, minimal space, and minimal time. This works even if you're over 60, working a full-time job, or dealing with limited mobility, and that's exactly why it lasts. Keep that rule in mind, because it's going to come up again and again as we go through this list. Let's start with animal number 1 on the avoid list, and it might be the one that surprises you the most. Goats are sold to you as low-maintenance land clearers and milk producers. On half an acre, they become one of the most expensive mistakes you can make, and here's exactly why. Goats are escape artists, which means you need specialized fencing running you $3,000 to $5,000 just to keep them contained. Add to that hoof trimming every 6 to 8. Traditional cattle sound like the dream, but standard beef breeds need 1.5 to 2 acres per animal for healthy grazing. On half an acre, you're not raising cattle, you're confining them and buying expensive hay and grain year-round to compensate. A single beef cow eats 2 to 3% of its body weight daily in hay when pasture isn't available. That's 25 to 30 pounds a day, costing families $1,100 to $2,000 a year to feed just one animal. The return might be $2,500 to $1,800 for a butchered steer, which is barely breaking even after 18 to 24 months of work, and that's assuming nothing goes wrong. One vet emergency, one birthing complication, one market dip, and your small profit becomes a real loss. Cattle also demand $5,000 to $10,000 in upfront infrastructure before you even buy your first animal, plus the physical risk of handling a 1,200-pound animal, which for seniors or anyone with physical limitations isn't just difficult, it can be genuinely dangerous. When you calculate everything, most small-scale cattle operations produce beef at $8 to $12 a pound, while the grocery store sells it for $5 to $7. You end up paying a premium to produce your own meat. Cattle are incredible on 20 acres or more. On half an acre, they quietly consume your money, your time, and your land potential. Before I show you the 4 animals that actually work, quick favor. If this is already saving you from a mistake you were about to make, hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps other families find this video before they invest in the wrong animal. And I want to know, have you raised any of these 3 on small land? Tell me what happened in the comments. I read every single one, and your experience might be exactly what stopped someone else from making the same costly mistake. Now let's get into the animals that were built for small land, starting with one almost nobody talks about. Quail might be the single most profitable animal for small spaces, and most people have never even considered them. Here's why they work so well. Quail start laying eggs in 6 to 8 weeks, compared to 6 months for chickens, and they only need 1 square foot per bird. That kind of space efficiency doesn't exist anywhere else in homesteading. All you need to start is a simple hutch or repurposed rabbit cage and basic starter feed. If you have a garage corner or shed, you're already set up. Raise 20 to 50 quail in a small, clean setup, and they'll eat 20 to 30% less feed than chickens while reaching butcher weight in just 7 to 8 weeks. The financial numbers here are genuinely impressive. Quail eggs sell for $3 to $6 a dozen, double the price of chicken eggs, and they're in high demand at farmers markets. Meat quail sell for $5 to $8 a bird to restaurants that want that delicate flavor and small serving size. With 50 quail, families are making $200 to $400 a month on less than 50 square feet of space. A breeding flock of 10 hens and 2 roosters can produce 500 to 600 chicks a year with minimal intervention, and unlike chickens, quail don't go broody, so a production stays consistent all year with proper lighting. Setup costs are: after one full cycle, every bird in your coop was hatched on your property from your best layers. That is a part the industry does not want you to figure out. I did not start out a believer. My first flock was 8 red sex-link hybrids from the feed store, cheap, easy to find, and the bin sign said guaranteed layers. Year 1 was incredible. 580 eggs a month at peak. I thought I had cracked the code. Year 2, production halved. By month 18, I had 2 hens dead from reproductive failure, and the rest barely scratching out 3 eggs a week between all of them. Winter hit and they stopped completely. I ran a heat lamp, watched my electric bill jump $40 a month, and got almost nothing back for it. That was the winter I nearly quit chickens. I had spent more on feed, replacement birds, and that lamp than I had ever spent on grocery eggs. Then an older breeder I bought hay from told me to drive 2 counties over and look at his birds. 6 black Australope pullets, $40 each. Steep at the time. I bought them anyway, mostly out of spite. That first winter, 1 sheeplet on a timer, 0 heat. I pulled 4 to 5 eggs a day from those 6 hens through January, through February, through the cold snap that knocked out my neighbor's whole flock for 10 weeks straight. That is when I became a convert. And that is when I understood what 100 years of real breeding actually looks like. Let me save you from the 4 mistakes that wreck most Australope setups before the first egg ever shows up. Mistake 1. Buying unsexed straight-run chicks to save a few dollars. Straight-run is roughly 50% roosters. You wanted 6 layers. You got 3 layers and 3 loud roosters you now have to rehome or process. Pay the extra $2 per chick for sex pullets every single time. Mistake 2. Skipping the Marix vaccination. Marix is a herpes virus. Once it is on your property, it never leaves and it kills young birds. The vaccine is 95% effective, but only works if given on the day of hatch. Ask your breeder or hatchery. If they cannot give you a straight answer, walk. Mistake 3. Chicken wire on the run instead of half-inch hardware cloth. Chicken wire keeps chickens in. It does not keep raccoons out. A raccoon can tear through it in under a minute. You will lose a whole flock in one night. I learned this the expensive way. Mistake 4. Running a heat lamp anyway, just in case. You do not need heat for this breed, and bonfires from tipped lamps kill more birds every winter than the cold ever does. Ventilation, yes. Dry bedding, yes. Heat lamp, no. She was built for this. Picture your property 18 months from now. It is February. There is frost on the run, and the rest of your road is paying $10 a dozen, and waiting on a supply chain they have zero control over. You are not. You walk out to your coop in the gray light before wake, breath fogging, and you lift the nesting box lid to 5 warm brown eggs from yesterday afternoon. Your hens are calm at your feet. The black on their backs catches a low winter sun and flashes green. No heat lamp humming. No power bill anxiety. Just 6 big quiet birds doing the job they were bred for 100 years ago. Spring comes and one of them goes broody on her own. 21 days later you have got 8 chicks under a hen. Chicks you did not buy, did not drive for, did not pay shipping on. Your replacement flock just hatched itself. The next supply chain headline does not touch you. The next egg price spike does not touch you. You are out. Drop a comment right now and tell me, what is the lowest temperature your flock has ever laid through? I want to know where the Australope keepers are watching from, and what your worst winter looked like. I read every single one, and I reply to as many as I can. Also sell fertile hatching eggs for $4 to $8 a dozen, turning a hobby flock into a genuine side income with almost zero extra work. And now, the final animal on this list, and I'd argue it's the most overlooked high-profit opportunity in all of small-scale homesteading. Bees require almost zero land, and that alone should make you pay attention. 2 beehives fit in a 10 by 10 space and can produce $800 to $1,500 in honey annually with just 10 to 20 hours of work a year. Read that again. 10 to 20 hours a year. Bees forage independently. They don't need daily feeding, and they generate multiple income streams at once: honey, beeswax, pollen, and propolis. Raw local honey sell for $10 to $15 a pound, premium pricing that reflects genuine health value. 2 hives with basic protective gear cost $300 to $500 to start, and from there it's just seasonal checks in spring, summer, and fall, with harvesting once or twice a year. A healthy hive produces 60 to 100 pounds of honey annually, which at $12 to $15 a pound retail comes out to $700 to $1,500 gross income per hive, while annual costs stay at just $20 to $50 per hive. Beeswax sells for $8 to $12 a pound, propolis for $20 to $40 an ounce, and pollen for $15 to $25 a pound, all as natural byproducts of honey production. And here's a bonus almost nobody mentions. Bees improve your garden's productivity by 30 to 50% through pollination, a compounding benefit that keeps paying you back season after season. Most beekeepers report getting stung less than once a season with proper technique, and local beekeeping associations offer mentorship in nearly every state. So the learning curve is far gentler than people assume. Before we wrap up, if you're finding real value in this breakdown, now's the perfect moment to subscribe, because next week I'm going deep into the exact setup and startup budget for whichever of these 4 animals gets the most requests and comments. I don't want you to miss that one. Here's something most people miss entirely, and it matters more than choosing the right animal. Instead of raising multiple species at once, master one profitable animal first. Get your system smooth, your sales channels established, and your confidence built. Then add a second species. That single decision is what separates families who burn out in month 3 from families who are still profitable 3 years later. Too many new homesteaders try to do everything at once: chickens, rabbits, and bees, all in the first month, and then feel completely overwhelmed the moment problems hit in multiple areas simultaneously. Every animal has its own learning curve, its own seasonal rhythm, its own health issues. When your attention is split, you never build the deep knowledge that actually makes an operation profitable. Master one species for a full year. Learn its breeding cycles, its common health issues, its feed efficiency, and its local market. Build trust with customers who know your product is consistent. Then, once that foundation is solid, add a complementary second species. This staged approach also protects your money. If your first species doesn't perform the way you hoped, your losses stay small and your lessons stay cheap. Many of the most successful small homesteaders started with just rabbits or just chickens, perfected their system over 12 to 18 months, then expanded into bees or quail once their confidence and infrastructure were solid. You don't need 10 acres to build real income from your land. You need smart choices that actually fit the space you have. Pick one animal from today's list. Start small this season and do it right. If this video changed the way you look at what your small plot of land is actually capable of, you know what to do. Hit like, drop a comment telling me which animal you're starting with. And if you're serious about building real self-sufficiency without wasting your time or your money, subscribe to Livestock Labs right now, because next week's video builds directly on everything we just covered, and you'll not want to be the one person in the comments asking what you missed. New practical homesteading strategies drop every week here, and the growers who subscribe now are the ones who'll be ahead of everyone else by spring. I'll see you in the next one.